Welcome to the Onboarding Wizard. If you have been dreading the start of your compliance journey because you do not know where you stand, this is where that uncertainty starts to lift. In CMMC Compliance Partner, the Onboarding Wizard is the beginning of the journey. It is the starting line, not the final exam. And the goal is simple: help you set up your organization, gather the vital details that define your environment, and give the platform enough context to show you where you are today. Now, in this walkthrough, we are talking about the four-step onboarding wizard. It is designed to be clear, practical, and honestly, a whole lot less painful than trying to piece this together from a spreadsheet and a stress headache. You move through it one step at a time, and each step builds the foundation for the instant analysis that comes next. First, you will set up the basics of your company. That means the core information the platform needs to understand who you are and what kind of compliance path you are on. You are not writing a novel here. You are giving the system a clean picture of your organization so it can tailor the rest of the experience to fit your world. From there, the wizard starts getting more specific about company size and scope. This is where we ask about the blast radius. In plain English, how big is the part of your business that actually touches sensitive government data? How many employees are involved? How many devices are in play? How many physical locations matter for compliance? That scope matters because CMMC is never just about checking a box. It is about understanding where the risk lives and how far it reaches. Then we get into who you work with and the type of government-related work you do. This part helps define your operating context. Are you supporting defense work? Are you handling data tied to contracts, technical information, or sensitive project activity? The wizard is building a practical picture, one answer at a time, nothing fancy, just enough structure to understand your environment in a way that is useful later. You will also select your industry. And this is a bigger deal than it might sound at first, because once the platform knows your industry, it can adapt examples, terminology, and guidance so it sounds like your world instead of somebody else's. A machine shop should not have to read policy language that feels like it was written for an IT consulting firm. An aerospace company should see examples that actually make sense for aerospace. Same control, different language. That matters. That is one of the most helpful parts of the onboarding experience. The platform does not just collect answers and toss you into a generic dashboard. It uses what you tell it to tailor how the rest of the system speaks to you. The examples, the plain English guidance, even the way AI explains a control, all of that becomes more relevant because the wizard took the time to understand your company first. So if you are new, this first section is really about setting the foundation. Company basics, scope, government work, industry. You are giving the system the context it needs so it can stop being generic and start being useful. And that is exactly what a good onboarding process ought to do. It should lower uncertainty, not add more of it. It should make the next step clearer. And that is where the wizard heads next, into your data, your security setup, and the analysis that turns all of this into an actual baseline. Once that foundation is in place, the wizard moves into the part that tells the real story of your current posture. This is where you describe your CUI environment. What kind of sensitive government data do you handle? Where is it stored? How does it move? Who can access it? I mean, this is the heartbeat of the whole exercise because you cannot protect what you have not clearly described. The questions here are meant to be practical. You will be asked about storage locations, access, and the systems around that data. Is information sitting in cloud services, local systems, shared locations, or a mix of places? Who needs access as part of their job, and how is that access controlled? Again, you do not need perfect wording. You just need an honest picture of how your environment works today. Then the wizard asks about your current security controls and tech stack. This is where you list the tools and safeguards you already have in place, things like cloud services, security software, and your current MFA status. Not because the platform wants to impress itself with a long inventory list, but because those details help it estimate which requirements you may already be supporting and where the gaps are likely to be. There is also a timeline piece. You will identify your goals and how quickly you are aiming to move. That matters because readiness is not just about what is missing, it is also about when you need to close those gaps. A company planning for a near-term audit is in a different place from one that is just beginning to organize itself. The wizard uses that timing context to help frame what comes next in a more practical way. And then you arrive at the most important button in the whole wizard, Analyze My Compliance. This is the milestone. This is where all the setup work turns into something useful. Once you click it, the platform reviews your answers against all 110 NIST 800 171 requirements. Instead of spending weeks or months trying to manually figure out your starting point, the AI does that first pass for you in about 60 seconds. That quick review is not magic in the hand-wavy sense. It is structured analysis. The system looks at what you told it, compares that against the full set of requirements, and builds an initial baseline. By the end of it, you can see which controls you likely already meet, which ones may be partial, and which ones need immediate attention. That baseline can also feed the rest of the platform, so your journey starts with real context instead of a blank page. And that is the key idea I want to leave you with. This result is not the audit, it is the map, it is the practical starting point that shows the path toward audit readiness. So do not worry about sounding perfect in the wizard. Just be honest. Honest input gives you a useful baseline, and a useful baseline gives you a much better next step. Complete the wizard, run the analysis, and let's see just how close you already are to being audit ready. Your journey starts now.